something I thought might be worthy of a YouTube clip. I'm making 3/8 of an inch dowel rods. I built this little jig right here from the table saw. I've seen people do them with a band saw, and even making a thing like a pencil sharpener to feed sticks through, but you have to slightly round them if you do that. There's a band saw, I guess, would work. Anyway, here's a piece I cut out of some rough cut oak. It's about as hard as a rock. And I made it to where it would sit right over top of the table saw table like that. So what I can do, in order to make it, what I did was I started with a 7/16 hole here. Drilled a 3/8 hole first, and then followed it with a 7/16 to the center where the table saw blade would line up. And then all I got to do is set that right over top of the table saw blade. Drop the blade, of course, turn the saw on after clamping this down, and ease the blade up until I reach just the edge of that hole. And then I can take it and manually spin it and get it started, and come through here with it, and then turn it around and put it on the chuck of a drill. I'll show y'all making these things. My old Fat B man's always talking about making his own queen cups. He's always crazy about making everything himself, so he can make him some dowel rods. Won't have to buy them. They're just pennies though, if all you need is just a few little pieces. But I got another use for these. I can show y'all that right now. As a matter of fact, if I can find that piece of stuff. My idea for these is what I did right here. Let me get back here so I can show you. That's a glued up board. It's been run through the planer. It is 11/16 thick. It's absolutely perfect. Not a flaw one in it. Alright. The way that was possible was ripping these thin strips and selecting out perfect wood to do that. Now you can use this just like you would a 1x8 to build a hive out of. The way I put it together is I made a jig to run these individual pieces through. Drill a 3/8 hole and drive that dowel rod all the way through all of them just like that. There's one there, one there. So not only is it glued up, it's supported by a solid stick of wood going all the way through them. I'm going to build some supers like that and see how they end up looking. But I mean, that thing is just as true as it gets all the way around. So, and light too. Anyway, that's what my plan is. That's why I'm making all these things. And you certainly can't buy them for 50 cents a piece and use many of them like that, or else you'd be just as well off to go buy a hive body. Alright, so I got my jig all set up. Check this baby out now. Well, here's a product of a few minutes work. They are 3/8. They're rough cut. I mean, they're not smooth sanded, you know, like ones you'd buy at Lowe's. But for what I'm using them for, they're absolutely perfect. Yep. So there we are. Got a few dowel rods. Now I'm going to try gluing up some of these old boards that's down here in the barn. Save me from having to use so many staples in them. Plus being able to go through the planer, that will save a little effort too. Here's that jig I was talking about a second earlier. That's simple enough. Just took two 2x4s, spaced them just a tick over 3/4 of an inch apart, and I just stacked the little pieces in there just like that, and shot right down them with I got an 18-inch 3/8 drill bit, and drive one of these dowel pins through it, hit it with a hacksaw, and go. It's not really all that labor intensive. I like making shelves and stuff. If you wanted perfect clean wood, there's a little knot there, but as far as that side's concerned, there's no defect to give problems with any slight rot at all. Anyway, we're gonna give this a shot. I got probably a truckload of boards that range anywhere from 1x4s to 1x6s, and they come off of a house that was probably sided with them 50, 75 years ago, something like that. They've been in the barn all my life, so make some free hives, I guess. You could make them 100% wood. You could drill a 3/8 hole in the ends where you would nail them in the rabbets, and then just drive a piece of this in there and saw the end off. You could have a box that didn't have a nail one in it, no metal at all. But I don't know if I'm gonna get that into it or not. There's my stack of feeders. My new design on those for a top of telescope over top of it. Might do a clip on them once I get them done. That'll be a while. I got all winter. Here's December the 8th. You're playing around.